Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at the Facsimile edition of Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, number 183 by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. An instant hit. Again, the Punisher. Nuff said. However, we're going to say a lot more. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into this baby. All right, let's start in the corner. I love Marvel corner box art. It is such a great thing. Credit is kind of quasi-attributed to Steve Ditko. I think he started doing it, saying like it would draw more attention to the art because, you know, comic books used to be in like spinner racks and magazine racks, and a lot of times you could only see the title. So that's always why it's a great idea to have a eye-popping, compelling, what do you call it, logo, and also to have some compelling, eye-popping art in the corner. And it also shows like a preview of kind of what the art is going to be like on the inside. Such an amazing time in comics. What year is this from? 1982. Can you imagine? Frank Miller on Daredevil, Klaus Janson. Look at this cover. It is so cool. The Dream Team. I have to say, like, okay, so this is a facsimile edition, a complete reprint of the entire issue, Daredevil 183, that originally appeared in 1982. It is on, like, a thicker stock paper, and a lot of people lament that, wanting newsprint. But it isn't newsprint, so this is what we have. It shows off the printing so great, the art looks great, and we already have the newsprint initially, so deal with it. Unfortunately, the color is like what this is all about. Klaus Janson is coloring this. So interestingly, I was thinking about this. Okay, so Roger McKenzie and Frank Miller writers, Klaus Janson and Frank Miller artists. Klaus Janson colors. Can you believe that? Kind of weird. Like, not often was the inker the colorist or the artist the colorist back in the day. You know, there's this real, like, factory way of making comic books that I want to do an episode on completely because it was such a magical time in comics. It'll never happen again. It's sort of like a weird phenomena that made some of the best comics in comic book history, but that's a topic for another day. But anyway, Roger McKenzie, you don't really hear that name often mentioned when talking about Frank Miller or Daredevil even. So I'm guessing Roger McKenzie was the writer on Daredevil and then sort of when Frank came on, they sort of co-wrote together, and then Frank eventually took over. But yeah, I don't really know how like Roger McKenzie's run on Daredevil was looked at, or about their collaboration, or like how it went well, or like if that's a good thing, or if they just stopped working together, why they stopped working together. I don't know. Anyway, special thanks to Ed Pollock and Ked Diaz of Phoenix House for their technical assistance. Interesting. So the colors are so great, like very revolutionary. Like, look at the pink eyes. Klaus Janson is Frank Miller's secret weapon for sure. You know, this is like an early Frank Miller. He's still developing style. The storytelling is there. The art is a little clunky, but Klaus Janson is doing a lot of the heavy lifting with these finishes, these beautiful inks, bringing so many textures and gorgeousness to the page. It's amazing. Let's see. This is just such a kind of a weird issue. Like, it reminds me of like an ABC after school special, because I think like this kid does like angel dust or something crazy like that. I don't want to say too many words that will get me flagged on YouTube, so I'm definitely like shying away from it. But this has a lot of flags, but it's definitely like what my brother would have referred to as like an issues and assholes kind of issue, where, I don't know, it's like socially conscious. You know, there's GUN violence and, drug awareness and stuff like that, you know, just very like 80s, like remember Nancy Reagan and her just say no stuff. So I'm wondering if a lot of comic books included, you know, awareness of those topics because of that. The color choices are just so amazing. You know what I mean? It's like the printing was so limited back then and there wasn't a lot you could do with the colors. This is way before computer coloring. So Klaus Janson is just like an amazing artist all over the place. Like, he is a penciler, an inker, I think he even letters, but definitely a colorist and a painter, and bringing so much beauty to the page, and just really, you know, I wonder if Frank Miller would have been Frank Miller without Klaus Janson. And of course the answer is yes, but I mean, obviously it was such a magical team up. This is like a great poignant moment. It's so funny because this kid wants to get revenge on this guy, so he goes and he like fires at him, but it's so crazy, spoiler, he winds up like missing and like purposely at the end like jerking up and shooting over his head. It's a very interesting story, but it's very like telling of the times because of all the evidence going on here. And like, I'm no Jessica Fletcher or anything, but I don't think any of this would have held up in a court of law the way that, you know, they solved the case, like just the ballistics and whatever. But it also reminds me that, you know, solving crimes, great Dave Cockrum corner box art, right? Remember that from the X-Men covers. Love all the old ads. So much fun. I love these facsimile editions. Another thing that I mentioned while talking about facsimile editions that I feel compelled to mention here is that one of the arguments, people are kind of against facsimile editions because they say it'll take down the value of the original editions. And I say bullocks to that. Like, who cares? You know, you're precious. But it's just like, and the people complaining about that are probably the ones slabbing books and just like, you know, so concerned about their value. But comics were meant to be read, and if you can afford an original copy of Daredevil 183, well, you can afford this facsimile reprint and enjoy it. And comics stories should live on forever and be printed forever, and, you know, just like novels. So that argument, there may be some merit to that, but, you know, I think if we've learned anything from the past, the 90s, is that placing the importance on the value and collectability of comics is definitely not the right way to think about it. You know, it's so random too. Like, come on, the Punisher in here. Frank Miller, Punisher, Daredevil, Klaus Janson. This is like, it's so amazing. This cover alone would make it worth it, but there's a lot of great stuff in here. I just love the tone and the storytelling. It's so different. But who the hell is this chick, Heather? Like, I don't remember her at all. And then big spoiler, what do you call it? Cliffhanger at the end. He proposes to her. I don't remember that at all. And on this page, I know it's so silly to point this out, but I have to appreciate the artistry. It's like not even like the most compelling page on the planet, but I love the composition. I love the body language. I love Klaus Janson's inks and just the work that he puts into the branches on the trees. I love the pinks and purples and the rocks. It's just so amazing. Like, you can almost feel the temperature in the air, right? What a fun issue. It's so crazy. So much going on. Punisher versus Daredevil, drug awareness, gun violence awareness, like a sign of the times, but also kind of weird. Like 40 years later, we are having the same debates. They're worse than ever. I don't know. Do we learn anything as a human race? I don't know. I don't think so. That's definitely a topic for another video itself. Do you love these facsimile editions? Are they amazing? I totally love it. Bring it on. Reprint everything, Marvel. It's so much better than anything else you're reprinting, or you're printing these days anyway. Sorry, I had to say it, but it's so true. Anyway, facsimile editions are where it's at. The Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, number 183. So cool. Do not pass on a facsimile edition if you see it. Always worth it. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. I'll bring you more later.